Welcome back. Today I'm on the Mac and I'm looking at a great program called ReadIris Pro 16. I've done a previous video on Abby Fine Reader on the Mac, so have a little look at that as well. If you know my videos, I like to get straight down to it and show you the basics of using it. So, top left hand corner, I want you to select ReadIris and select Preferences before you do anything. Now I'm going to drag this to the middle. Now with your Preferences options, we need to preset things up before you actually scan. So for example, first option is smoothen colour and grayscale images. What this will actually do, it renders grayscale and colour images more by smoothing out differences in intensity. For example, stronger contrast is created between the foreground text and background artwork, and that can cause issues. So that will hopefully smoothen them out for you. Remove differing in black and white images. This option removes unwanted dither, which is noise from black and white images. Also, you've got a next option called Process at 300 dots per inch. The higher the number, the better the scan. So for example, standard scanners work up to about 600 to 1200 dots per inch, but you really don't need that high dots per inch just for standard text, unless it's really small complex text. Now what this actually does is for you, it selects this option when you're processing images from incorrect or unknown resolution. So this image will be processed, so the images will be processed as if they had 300 dots per inch, so it gives you that bit of continuity. Also you can remove vertical lines from a scan or remove horizontal lines from a scan. So if I click on it, you can even change the parameters for that so you can remove them from your scanning. But I want to leave them off. Next is automatic despeckling. So at the moment it's on automatic despeckling, and what that actually does, some documents contain a lot of noise and little black spots, and they can occur on low quality documents or using bad scanner settings or even not great scanners. To remove these little black spots you can use a despeckler slider, but bear in mind when you move, I've left it on automatic, if you move it up, look, the more you do there's more chances, it says underneath, that the dots may erase useful information in your image. So can you bear that in mind when you're using that, if you have any issues with that. So there's your pre-processing. Anything you're not sure about, hit the little question mark bottom right, and it goes online, web-based, and it gives you information on each option and what that does, so you can choose exactly what you need. Next is page analysis. When it scans, it analyses the actual document. In a sense, it puts recognition zones on them. So it tries to look for what's text, what's graphics, what's the barcode, and so on, and even tables. And it will colour code them for you in squares. So I like to do that as it's scanning, so when I open up the document I can work with it quickly and go, right, I'm happy with orange text or maybe purple with graphics. If you prefer to do it on your own bit by bit you can, but even if you have scanned it, we can still do the page analysis by coming up the top, and once you've done it you can select analyze page and it will do the same as pre-doing it for you. Next is page orientation detection. So what ReadIris will do, it will automatically turn it around to the correct way up for you. So I like to leave that tick, save me doing it manually. Page deskewing, sometimes you might put a page in a flatbed scanner, it's not quite straight, a bit crooked. So this option, if you tick that, will automatically straighten it out for you. But I tend to put mine in the corner all straight anyway, so I'm not going to bother with that. And you've got ignore border zones. Now what that actually does is sometimes ReadIris generates recognition zones you don't want, and it does that by picking up black borders on your scan, and that can cause loads of issues. So sometimes I tick that, sometimes I don't, depending on the scanner. Next is accuracy. Always I favour accuracy over speed, and again it's up to you, because if you're not doing anything too detailed and you've got a lot to do, you might choose favour speed over your accuracy. Again, it does depend on the quality of your scanner as well. Font type I like to leave automatic, but often dot matrix, and character pitch automatic. Again, bottom right hand corner, any issues, it tells you what those settings do. So that brings us to the last option in preferences. Now you can send your information to a cloud automatically, what you scan. So if I click plus, I can then choose an account I want. I've got Dropbox, I use Evernote as well, and I also got Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive. I don't use Box, so what I could do, I could say, right, I want to send it to Evernote. Tap that, and it'll bring me up the options to add my information, so I can automatically connect to Evernote. So it's definitely worth setting up if you've got a cloud. Right, so we're all pre-set up and almost good to go. Something else I want you to do before we start. Go to automatic pre-processing. Now you can choose if you want to automatically set defaults you want it to do, like a bit of workflow. So if I was to select automatically process all imported images automatically, I could say I want the output to be PDF, or maybe I want it to go straight to a Word document. So every time I scan something and export, it's going to go as a Word document. I can choose an output folder I want, or choose a specific folder I want it to go to. And I can choose which application I want it to open up. In this case it will be Word, but depending on what format you're using here, you might choose rich text format and decide you don't want to open it up in Word, you might want to open it up in a different text edit or a different option. But again, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to untick that. Again, any issues, click the question mark there and it'll tell you exactly what to do. Before we start, I want you to select ReadIris again and select Preferences and select Scanner. You need to choose the scanner you wish to use. For example, I've got the Epson Wi-Fi one there, and if I've got another scanner as well, I haven't got installed at the moment, but it will list them for you, your multiple scanners, so choose the correct one. This one's Wi-Fi. If it's not showing up, then reinstall your driver, go online and make sure that's installed correctly. Now I can close that. So now I'm ready to go. So if I come over to scan, now if you haven't got your scanner installed properly, then that won't be highlighted. So I'm going to tap it once and it brings up the window ready to scan. So do an overview quickly, so I'm going to have to wait. And there you go, there's my scan. I'm not too worried about it being upside down because when I actually do a scan, remember I selected orientation, it will turn it the right way up. Now see in my settings here, I can choose, for example, image kind, colour, grayscale, black and white. Dots per inch, I'm leaving it 300, but I'm pretty sure I can't go up to 4800. I think I'm only limited to about 600 on this scanner. Also you've got size A4, I'm happy with that. Underneath, depending on your scanner, you have various options here, but when you go to the bottom you see we've got page analysis and page orientation. I've set that in preferences anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that. So what we'll do now is just scan the image and select scan. Now we're actually scanning it to ReadIris. And there's my scan. It puts it automatically into ReadIris, and because I chose analysis, it's put the recognition zones in there for me as well. So let's have a quick look at it. So first option we got there is a bluey colour. Now what that's seeing, if I come down to the right here, we've got a layout button. So I'm going to select layout, and we've got options text, which is orange, and we've got graphics. So if I select graphics, so anything you see as a graphic, then you can hold the left button and create a rectangle around, and that gives you a graphic. And that goes for the same with text. So if I hold the left button, create a rectangle around whatever I want there, that will see that then as text. Now problem if it's not text, it's going to get messy, so bear that in mind. Now while I'm in this window, I'm going to do a right click. On my Mac it's 2-finger tap in the middle, and I can choose to delete zones. Or I might want to change it to a graphic, table zone, so if it's a table I'd create a table around it, or barcode zone, or I might want to copy that as text, but I'm going to delete zone so it goes back to the original image zone. So as I said, they're tables. I select tables. There might be something there you see as a table and it's not quite picking up one, it's doing orange as text. So when we export it to a different format, it might get a bit messy. So what I've done, select table, hold the left button, let's imagine there's tables, create a rectangle around it. Now that means ReadIris will see it as tables, but there's a problem. See underneath, I've still got it seen as text. But that's not a problem. Select to the right there option and tap in underneath. Tap once, now hold the left button, then we can drag that out the way where you want. We can drag that where you want that to go. So I'm going to hold the left button and drag that up. And you can see you can drag it into position you want, or the whole lot if you want as well. Then I can click back on the zone I want. And if you don't want any zones there, tap into it. As you can see, click delete key. Tap into it, click delete key. And again, if I go to text, hold the left button as so, and that will see it all as text again. Another option we got down here is barcodes. So if you've got a specific barcode, I would use this option to make sure it picks up barcodes correctly. Hold the left button and create it around it, and it's green for barcode, so bear that in mind. Tap into it and click delete to get rid of it. Also, if there's something you don't specifically want, for example, you might just want the middle bit and nothing else. Instead of deleting it, select frame. Hold the left button and create a rectangle around what you want. and that will get rid of everything else. So when it actually exports at the top there, be it PDF, Doc, Excel, and there's other options, it will only actually export the middle bit, as you can see. Now if you want to reanalyze it, not a problem. Click the little X to come back out of this side window and select Analyze, and it reanalyzes the recognition zones again for you. While we're in this section, I've got a new option called Text. Click that for me. Now what it does is it shows you original scan on the left, and if you like, linear text format on the right. Now at the moment it's just showing you flowing text one after another that you can see quickly, and you can use the highlight button, highlight information if you want as well there, and you can see how it highlights it on the left as well. Click the drop down menu and select original layout. That will give you the original layout of the one on the left. Difference with this is on the right is that you can edit it, look. So you can play around with that, which is a really good option. So you can see it in real time with the original and the converted one. Now the layout, we're looking at vertically, you can see it horizontally if I click this button here. Image at the bottom, and you've got your linear format at the top, so you can choose how you want to see that as well. But I'm going to click little X to come out of there. Layout we looked at with your different recognition zones. You can deskew again if it's not quite straight by clicking the skew option, and click yes, and that will deskew anything, but in this case it was okay anyway. You can even rotate your image clicking that. So I'll rotate it 180. I'm going to rotate it back round again. Also, if you use the adjust button, remember the smoothing image we did on pre-processing, you can change exactly how that will scan. So you might look at that and go, do you know what, I need that a bit lighter. So you can drag that to the left and try and get that right, and that goes for your contrast as well. And again, that's when you can play with your speckle and get a better feel for what you're doing. Also there you've got lines, and again you can remove any lines that you see as well, and remove horizontal lines. Something worth playing with once you've actually got the scan there to edit. So I'm going to close that, and we've got Magnify. So as you can see, magnifying glass there. Actually, if I tap off that, click Command plus, and that will zoom in for you anyway, and Command minus comes out as a shortcut, and you access that via view at the top there as well, as you can see with image size. So that's how easy it is to scan. Before I jump right into exporting, let's have a quick look at the options here. So you can undo anything. Also you can clear everything there. You can copy text zones, so that will copy all the text zones you've got there, or just copy the graphic zones. You can select all zones, so that selects them all for you, or you can even delete all zones that you don't want there as well. Probably worth remembering the shortcut keys if you're going to use this a lot. So again, I'm going to reanalyze by selecting Analyze to bring it all back. In Settings, remember our pre-processing options we had earlier that we set everything up. Now we've got page analysis options which we set up as well, so you can go back to them whenever you need to as well. Now the settings option here, I can't use a document separation and indexing option. Reason being is because it's the corporate version. So this is the pro version, so I don't get all the options. You also got document language you can change, and select pages language. And we've got export options there where we can export, which I'm going to show you that in a minute. Again, you can save all your settings or restore to factory default. Now page. We've got adjust image. Now all these settings here we accessed on the right anyway. Watch. Adjust image brings this back up for you. And view, this is for your viewing option, for example magnifying glass, and if I go to image size you can choose how you want to see the image within that window. And we've got processing. Again, I can't use these because these are for the corporate version. Though batch processing will be good when you do large numbers of scan, because it helps you index and put them into organised folders and that. So now we're going to export that scan. Now what we've got here, we've got portable document format, Microsoft Word, or even Excel. But you might look at that and go, do you know what, I don't want to export to any of them. No problem, let's go to export options and see where we can export to. Our current favourites are there again, PDF, Word and Excel. You can see them in your toolbar at the top. But we can change that if we want. Say you might want to send it to an audio file more, or maybe you want a website, HTML or plain text. Before we do that, let's look at the favourites. It's got PDF there, hasn't it? So it's going to open up in application Adobe Reader, which is the default, but you might want it to open up in another default PDF reader, so you can choose it through there. Again, you can ask file name and storage location if you want, or if you prefer, select that option. Once you've set up a cloud, be Dropbox, wherever you want, you can then send it straight to there instead of onto your Mac. But I'd have it open up in Adobe Reader. And the same goes for Word. You can change your settings there. Again, you can go through layout. You might want to create body text, retain word and paragraph formatting so it looks the same, or just recreate source documents. I prefer to try and make it as a duplicate as possible. Again, you can choose underneath, for example, include graphics if you want. And again, retain colours of text, retain colours of background. Again, that could be useful depending on what you're doing. And you've got your graphics options, so you can have image quality higher or lower. I would read resolution original, but you can always change that to dots per inch. And then you've got your page size, which I'm using A4. So I won't go through all of them with you, but you get the idea of how setting up every option you do before you export. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to send that to Word first. So we know the blue bit's going to be an image and all the orange bits is going to be converted to text. So select export to Word. I just call it scan, put it on my desktop and select save. And it opens up automatically. You can see if I click on there, it's seen that as an image. I can move that around, do what I want with that, and the rest, if I come down, should be standard text. So if I click into that, I can delete it, highlight information that I might be working with, and so on, and even copy and paste. So let's export in a scan to Word. How about if I don't want to export to any of them? Go to export options. Maybe I want it as a audio file. So when I tap on audio, you see I've got an option here to open as a file, but I would want it to open up in iTunes and play back automatically. So I could select that option and it would do it for me. Or maybe I want it as a website format. Again, it will open up Safari automatically. Shall I try that? Now, as you see at the top, how do I get it to export? What I need to do is select this, hold the left button and drag it up into my favourites list. And you see now how it's replaced Excel. So if I click OK, before I click OK, I'm going to check layout. Again, I'm happy with that. Near enough same to Word and graphics. So I'll click OK. So now I've got export to HTML. If I select that option, it should now export to that for me. Click save. And there we go. Opens up automatically in HTML for me in the website. So really powerful options there and really easy to use. So now I scan from a scanner. Let's scan from a file. So I'm going to scan from a PDF, but you can scan from multiple images. So let me select this time file to the right and scan. And you see at the bottom here it's giving me an option straight away. It wants to do page analysis, which I want it to do to look at recognition zones. I want page orientation. I don't really have to worry about page to skew and do if it's a PDF. It depends on the original, of course. So I'm going to use the EndNote PDF as an example and click open. I'm not going to do 457 pages, you'll be glad to hear. I'm just going to do 10. And I'm going to start, for example, from page 3. And click OK. And let's see if it'll pull them out for me, which is doing lovely. And you see it was analysing it as well. So I'm going to scroll to the top. There's my pages there underneath. Now what you can see automatically is put orange rectangles around them indicating their text. So I need to check them to make sure it's not missing anything. Let's have a little look. There's an image in there, maybe it didn't pick up. But no, that looks good. So I'm almost ready to export that. Again, if you click into one of these pages you don't want it, just click the little X top right hand corner and you can delete that. Let me delete the old scan I did before as well. So you can leave exactly what you want. Now remember, if you do come across something that is an image, select layout, graphics and create a rectangle around it, and then that will definitely see that as a graphic. If you don't like it going to the right, 2-finger tap and you can change your settings there. Look, I could go to text zone again, 2-finger tap. I can see that as a barcode, 2-finger tap. So I'm going to do a right click on there again, and I want that as a text zone. Select option on the right and tap off it. Now I'm ready to send that. Now where shall I send that to? I'm going to go back to export options and let's choose a different one. How about you might want that as an audio file to listen to? Maybe you've got a bit of research to do. I'm going to hold the left button and drag that up to replace HTML. And now that's in my favourites at the top. Click OK, watch. Before I click OK, check my text to speech options. This is the read back feature. It's going to read back to you once it's created text, so it's important you set this up correctly. So you can open speech tab here, and then you can choose your voice from there by clicking play.
Hello, my name is Serena.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the speed there, so I'm going to close that. Then I can click OK. So now I'm ready to turn all that. So what it's going to do is going to take that PDF, convert it into text using the recognition zones, and then turn it into an audio file for me. So we'll give it a go. So I'm going to select export as AIFF, which is iTunes. Choose where I'm going to save it to, my desktop. I'm going to tag it so I don't lose it. It's on my desktop anyway, but I'll make that red. And click save. See how long that takes.
Comma features added to end, note X6. Comma features added to end, note.
And there you go. How easy was that? So I'm going to click close. Go to the top and close iTunes with quit. Options and how easy it is to use. Point as well, if you come to the top and go to the ribbon at the top and do a 2-finger tap. Icons, you might decide you only need the icon only, look, for example. Or 2-finger tap, I prefer icon and text. 2-finger tap, you can even choose to use small size or customize and choose what you actually want in your toolbar at the top, or you could use small size options there and click done. You've got your language top right hand corner, so I'm currently using English, but if you select other languages you can choose the correct language you're using. And if you do get stuck, don't forget, go to help files. Here is a ReadIris help and even tutorials for you, really good. And also you can search for updates. But remember what I showed you earlier. ReadIris, preferences, bottom right hand corner. It gives you a nice little tutorial and gives you a nice little online instructions on how to use each option that you're setting up. So really great option. I hope that's enough just to get you up and running. Thanks for watching.